The Stone Age. A time that may seem distant and obscure, yet it's a defining chapter in our history. It's the longest period of our existence, and everything we know, our culture, our society, can be traced back to these humble beginnings. It can be hard to wrap our minds around a period that spans over 3 million years. But today, in just a few minutes, we're going to explore the key moments that shaped our ancestors and, in turn, shaped us. The Stone Age gets its name from the material that transformed our species, stone. For millions of years, our ancestors used stones, not just as tools, but as instruments that sparked our evolution. But we're not just talking about any rocks. What made these stones special is how they were crafted, sharpened, fractured, modified into tools with purpose. Around 3.3 million years ago in northern Kenya, we find the earliest evidence of these stone tools, simple, but revolutionary. Chopping cores, sharp flakes, anvils for smashing. They may not seem like much to us now, but for our ancestors, these tools meant survival. They were used to process animal remains, plant matter, and possibly even create wooden implements like spears. And here's the twist, these tools weren't even made by our direct ancestors. They may have been crafted by Australopithecus or Kenyanthropus, creatures who were part of our evolutionary lineage, yet still a mystery to us. It would take hundreds of thousands of years for stone tool use to become widespread. But when it did, it marked the dawn of a new era for our species. Around 2.9 million years ago, a simpler tool-making method emerged, known as the Old Talent tradition. Our ancestors, particularly Homo habilis, began crafting sharp edges by knocking flakes off stones. It was basic, but it was a breakthrough. These tools spread across Africa, and Homo habilis, despite their small stature and ape-like features, was one of the first in our genus to thrive with this newfound technology. Then came Homo erectus, a true game-changer in human history. Evolving around 2 million years ago, they weren't just surviving, they were thriving. They migrated from Africa all the way to China, developing advanced skills along the way. Homo erectus had a larger brain, was capable of running, hunting, and even throwing objects with precision. They built fires, cooked their food, and developed the first refined tools, like hand axes, that allowed them to dominate their environments. They hunted giant elephants, rhinos, and gathered fruits, vegetables, and even catfish. Their mastery over fire made their diet more diverse and easier to digest. Homo erectus paved the way for every hominin that followed, including us. As Homo erectus populations spread and became isolated, new species began to emerge. In Europe, Homo heidelbergensis appeared around 700,000 years ago. This species had brains almost as large as modern humans and created more sophisticated tools, including stone-tipped spears. They were skilled enough to craft wooden implements with precision, even javelins that resemble those used in modern times. But evolution didn't stop there. Around 300,000 years ago, differences between populations became so pronounced that new species emerged. In Africa, our species, Homo sapiens, took form. At the same time, in Europe and Asia, Neanderthals and Denisovan lived alongside us, each leaving their own mark on history. This period saw the dawn of creativity. Early humans, including Neanderthals, began creating art, using symbolic materials like red ochre, and even buried their dead with rituals. In France, Neanderthals built strange, symbolic structures deep within caves, evidence that their complexity matched our own. As Homo sapiens expanded out of Africa, they carried with them knowledge, culture, and the tools that would shape the future. We spread across the world, reaching the Indian subcontinent around 70,000 years ago, Australia 65,000 years ago, and finally, into Europe, where we replaced the Neanderthals around 40,000 years ago. Our ancestors adapted and thrived, but they didn't just replace those who came before. They mingled, interbred, and passed down traces of ancient DNA that still live within us today. Even now, All modern humans carry small percentages of Neanderthal and Denisovan DNA. By around 10,000 years ago, humans had entered a new era, agriculture. The shift from nomadic lifestyles to permanent settlements revolutionized the way we lived. Societies formed, specialized occupations emerged, and the seeds of civilization were planted. Yet, stone tools were still in use, even as we began to experiment with metal. In fact, obsidian, a sharp volcanic glass, is still used in some surgeries today, able to cut with precision unmatched by metal. The Stone Age may have ended thousands of years ago, but its legacy endures. The tools, the fire, the innovation, they're all echoes of a time when survival depended on creativity, adaptation, and resilience. And today, we carry that same spirit forward.